What's going on, guys? Welcome to this channel. My name is Kublai. I'm a Western European living in the Russian Far East, and this is my garage. The blue car over here is my 2003 Toyota Caldina GT4, and the red and white car over here is my 1998 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. So I thought it would be interesting to make a quick video to see how they compare, because interestingly enough, these two cars are very similar in some ways. For example, they are both four-wheel drive. They've got limited slip differentials. At least my Caldina GT4 does have the N edition limited slip differential on the rear, and they are four-wheel drive. They are both turbocharged. They have got 4-cylinder, 2-liter 4-cylinder engines. They are both Japanese, JDM of course, and they make stock, of course. My EVO is quite modified, so my EVO has over 300 horsepower, but both stock they make. The Caldina makes 260 horsepower and the EVO 280 horsepower. Okay, so they are quite comparable when it comes to power and so on, and they are different in other ways, because of course the EVO being just a sedan, just a common sedan, I would say, and the Caldina is a station wagon with plenty of space. It's a little bit more modern as well. My Caldina is from 2003 and my EVO from 1988. So the Caldina does feel a little bit more modern when you drive it, definitely. So yeah, the Caldina is bigger, has more room, and the biggest difference between the two cars, of course, is the gearbox. The Caldina has a automatic 4-speed automatic gearbox, while the EVO has a 5-speed manual gearbox. Okay, so that's the biggest difference. So of course, some people could argue and say, oh, you can compare the two because one is automatic, the other is manual. Well, not really, because it depends what you are looking for. You know, in some ways the Caldina may be even better, and is better in fact, than the EVO. It depends who you are and what you want to do with your car. So that's the first reason why I do own both cars, because my Caldina alone wasn't enough. You know, my Caldina alone is fast, it's okay, it's not the fastest car in the world. It goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7 seconds flat, so it's fast. It's not the fastest car in the world, but it's okay. But you know, it's comfortable as well. It's not that stiff. You know, the suspension, now we are already comparing the two. The suspension of the Caldina is much softer than the suspension in the EVO. So the EVO, granted, doesn't have the stock suspension. It has the Kayaba new SR suspension. The Caldina has Kayaba stock suspension, but the Caldina does feel softer, definitely softer. You know, it's more comfortable, of course. You don't feel the road as much as in the EVO. So yeah, the Caldina makes a good daily driver. It's automatic, you don't have to worry about hills, etc. Okay, I hear you laugh already. I don't worry about hills as well when I drive in a manual, no? But if you, for example, if you live in a city such as Vladivostok, where I live, or in San Francisco, for example, where you've got hills everywhere, or you have got a lot of traffic jam, at the end of the day you get tired of always using the gears and the clutch and so on. So if you have an automatic, you just drive in a quiet, laid-back way. It's much easier to cope with, you know. So the Caldina is more like a daily driver. It's when it comes to consumption, both cars are both the same. You know, I was very surprised. I thought the Evolution would be quite much more thirsty, but it isn't. In fact, you know, they both consume around, well, between 10 up to 15 liters every 100 kilometers. So it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable for sports cars. So yeah, the Caldina GT4 is softer, of course. When it comes to brakes, there is a huge difference between the two. The Evolution 5 brakes very much better, very what would say sharply. The Caldina has more like a a normal car feel when it comes to brakes. The EVO, of course, does sound much better. You can drive both cars very fast if you want to. The EVO is much easier to drive when it comes to driving fast. If you are a car enthusiast and you like to drive fast on twisty roads, in sharp corners, etc., and so on. Okay, the EVO is easier. It's easier to drive. Surprisingly, the EVO is a much more secure car. You can drive it hard, fast, and you still feel confident. The EVO is the kind of car which tells you, okay, you give me some more gas, buddy. You can do it. Okay, well, I will hold the road anyway. The Caldina, you can still drive the Caldina fast, especially if you're an experienced driver and you do know the Caldina quite well, which I do. I've driven over 20,000 kilometers in the Caldina, so I do know the Caldina well. I do know where the limits of the Caldina are, how to react when things go wrong, or almost wrong, I mean. The EVO, I'm not that experienced with the EVO yet, but the EVO feels much more safe. Let's say it's much more safe. The Caldina, you can still drive it fast, but you will need more experience. You will need to know the car better. And the Caldina, when it's a car, when it starts to slip, it comes very sharply, very rapidly, and you have to react very fast. And the EVO, I haven't reached the limits of the EVO yet, to be honest with you, because I haven't owned the EVO for so long so far. So, but yeah, even though I do own I do know the Caldina much better than the EVO so far. I already go much faster with the EVO because the EVO just holds the road much better. The EVO is a genuine sports car, whereas the Caldina is a so-called sports car, more like a sporty wagon. Still fast, not that fast as the EVO. The Caldina, yeah, I told you, 7 seconds flat from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. I guess the EVO does it below the 5-second figure. I think it's very fast EVO. I think if it is not 5 seconds, it is less than 5 seconds from 0 to 62 miles per hour, or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Okay, so yeah, the EVO of course is much faster, but that is what you would expect, and the EVO is much faster. Even stock, I guess the EVO is faster than the Caldina. It sounds better, it brakes better, it's easier and safer to drive hard, but it is stiffer. You can still daily drive it, but it is not for everyone, especially if you live in a city with a lot of hills, or if you live in a city with a lot of traffic jam. At the end of the day, you will get tired of the manual, of course. I do enjoy the manual much more, of course. I'm a manual driver. I like manual gearboxes. I do agree some automatic gearboxes are okay, especially the DAG or S-tronic, Audi S-tronic gearboxes, which are very good, excellent even, I would say. But I enjoy the gears. I enjoy using the manual transmission and have fun with the manual, but this is just me. So when it comes to fun, yeah, of course the EVO, it's much better than the Caldina when it comes to fun. But yeah, the EVO is a small car. It's a small car. Another problem with the EVOs tend to rust rapidly. I'm always washing this car. I wash my EVO every 10 days when the weather is good. When the weather is bad, I can wash it once a week or even less. Okay, whereas the Caldina, I can leave it sometimes for 1 month. Quite dirty. It's okay. I wouldn't worry that much because they don't rust. The Caldina don't rust as the EVOs do. So that's another point you have to notice. So brakes, yeah, brakes EVO is better. The EVO feels safer and more stable. The Caldina is much more comfortable. It's my Caldina at least, because my EVO has a straight pipe, a manifold, a Tommy manifold with a RSR straight pipe. So it's very noisy. My Caldina isn't that noisy. I do have a straight pipe as well, with a newer spec, a Blitz newer spec exhaust, but it doesn't feel that loud. So you can go on a road trip with the Caldina. I recently went on a road trip for one day road trip. I made roughly 800 kilometers in one day with the Caldina, and you're not tired after your road trip. So I guess you are, and I know what you're thinking now. Of course, you're still tired from the road, but you're not tired from the exhaust. You're not tired from the stiffiness of the suspension. Okay, that's the main difference. When it comes to look, of course, I do prefer the EVO, no question about that. I still love the Caldina. In my opinion, the Caldina is one of the best looking sports sedan ever made. That's why I bought the Caldina in the first place. I was about 1.5 years ago. I was supposed to buy a Audi S3 Sportsback. It's very comfortable. You have got plenty of room. It's a station wagon, so if you want to move, for example, some stuff with the station wagon, you will be fine. Whereas the EVO is a small car from the 1980s, okay, and that's what I love about the EVO. So okay, both are interesting. It depends what you're looking for. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this comparison, what you think about this below. Here in the description you'll find links to my Telegram channel, my Gap page, and so on. Okay, talk to you later. Bye for now, guys.